happening, guys? Chris, VA Travels, down here in Petersburg, and going to take a walk around Poplar Lawn Park here in the middle of the city, kind of their central park. And there's a few things, a few neat things to see in there. Most famously is Pocahontas' Basin. It's the oldest artifact in the city. And yeah, we're here in Petersburg. It's about 20 miles south of Richmond, off the Appomattox River. And maybe I'll look at that sign at the end. And yeah, this is a great city for history. Unfortunately, it's kind of on hard times right now. A lot of great old Italianate buildings. And like I say, sadly, they're not really being kept up. But yeah, there's a lot to see down here. So here's a little write-up. And it was used during the War of 1812. Looks like some Petersburg volunteers met here to get ready to leave to go to the Canadian border. So, oh yeah, and these things, these markers go back to the 1930s. Pretty old. And tell you a little bit about Petersburg. First of all, this land was, I guess, owned, if you will, by Chief Powhatan, and it was gifted to Pocahontas after she had married John Rolfe, supposedly. And then the first English or colonial settlement was in 1645. Fort Henry was built here, just as a little trading post. And this marks the spot in Poplar Lawn where stood the Confederate hospital. So, yeah, there was a hospital here. Marquis de Lafayette was here for his big celebration on his American tour, 1824. And while I walk up, I'll let you know, Petersburg was formed 1784 when the towns of Blandford and Ravencroft combined. And this Poplar Lawn is kind of right in between the two. And yeah, this was a bustling city from maybe the American Revolution until the Civil War. As I've mentioned before, it was the second largest city in Virginia in 1860. Unfortunately, after the Civil War, it went really downhill. It's ranked number 18 now. But yeah, anyway, here we are. So this is the Pocahontas Basin, also known as the Pocahontas Stone, the Pocahontas Bath. And there's a few stories surrounding this. And one of the stories is that Chief Powhatan came to this area on a hunting expedition, and he brought the young princess Pocahontas, and she was seen washing her face in the bath. And another story is that after she was gifted the land, after she married John Rolfe, lived down here for a period of time, and she was seen again washing her face. And then there's another story. This is just kind of oral history. I've heard mentioned from somebody who has a YouTube channel. Actually, I'll give a shout out. There's a lady who puts up a lot of videos on Petersburg history. Pretty cool. I can't think of the name of the channel, but yeah, it was said that the stone was carted around with Pocahontas, and again, she used it to wash her face. I guess she was really big into hygiene, like to wash her face. And I can't imagine that's true because they didn't have horses at the time, and I don't know how you would cart this thing. Well, I guess it was just the stone up top, but still. Yeah, so then eventually it was in 1800, it was placed in front of the Petersburg courthouse. Then sometime in the 1830s, it was placed in front of the Pocahontas Bridge, which connected Petersburg to Colonial Heights. It was there all the way up until 1914. You'll see it says right here, when the Daughters of the American Revolution had it placed here and put up this little kind of 5-foot by 5-foot little wrought iron fence. So it's pretty neat. And nobody knows if any of these stories are true. I've always heard that Chief Powhatan was based out in the Middle Peninsula, kind of out near Gloucester, which is pretty far from here. And so I can't imagine a little princess or even Chief Powhatan would come this far out. Again, they didn't have horses at the time, but anyway, so kind of a neat story, and just something neat to look at. All right, so I'll just walk over, take a look at this fountain. And this thing was erected in 1955, and it replaced an original fountain that was here before. And that fountain now stands over at the Richard Bland College. And I believe it's in front of the president's house. So yeah, unfortunately it's not turned on. So, but yeah, this thing's been up since 1955 and pretty well kept. Looks nice. I see a stone over there. Let me walk over there. And again, not lots of nice houses all around. Yeah, Poplar Lawn Historic District. And yeah, I need to read up on some of these places. I might just do a walk around, talk about some of the buildings. And here you go. Hey, VA Travels from the future. We are 3 weeks into the future, and I'm back down here for Garden Week, visiting some historic homes around this Poplar Lawn District. And I saw the fountain was in use, so I just wanted to come over, get a shot of it. And it looks like these gardens have kind of grown up a little. And okay, so you've got some lights on it, so this probably looks pretty neat at night. Anyway, yeah, nice fountain. Again, circa 1955. And I see something to look at over here. Oh, I'll also tell you that Pocahontas does have a connection to the area. Her granddaughter Jane married into the Bowling family. The Bowlings were a big family, one of the first families here in Virginia. They were one of the big founders of Petersburg. And their descendants went on. Edith Bowling Wilson, Woodrow Wilson's wife. He is a descendant of Pocahontas, and also the Bush family, George Bush. Yeah, they can trace their lineage back to Pocahontas. And I can also tell you that black soldiers were retained here after the Battle of the Crater, which took place nearby. And what is this? Drilling of soldiers, War of 1812. Okay, so that talks about what we saw before. And wow, look at that. Boy, I really need to read up a bunch of old, nice churches. Yeah, so Petersburg's got a lot of history. Like I say, just unfortunately, the city's just kind of not in the best shape, but I'm gonna come back down here. I think there's one last thing to look at over here. And you'll see some crepe myrtles in the center of the park here. Looks like dogwood's blooming. And oh, sorry, my nicer camera died using my cell phone, and I know you hear this wind noise. A couple magnolias. Okay, I thought there were some old pillars to look at called sentinels. Must be in a different part of the city. But yeah, that's it for Poplar Lawn. Nice little green space in the middle of the city. Good place to walk your dog. Oh, I should also mention that this area really developed. I guess all these nice Victorian homes around here were built shortly after all the railroad junctions were built in Petersburg. And this kind of turned into the suburb. People moved out of the old town downtown and moved out here, which really isn't that far away. But anyway, yeah, that wraps it up. As always, like and subscribe.